There's no other way to say it. TSM's League of Legends team is having a bit of a nightmare at the moment. In 9 years of them competing in the LCS, this is their worst ever start to a season. They currently sit at the very bottom of the table with a 1-win, 8-loss record, and there's no real signs of improvement. For some, this has been a great time to meme on the team that once dominated North America, but jokes aside, what the hell is going on with them? Honestly guys, it's been really good to see all the interest in these sorts of League Don't At Me videos. If you are enjoying them and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Also like the video as well. It lets us know we're heading in the right direction. Thank you. So TSM's 1-8 record is their worst ever start in the LCS in the 9 years they've competed in it. Some fans might want to brush this off as a blip, but it's showing no real signs of stopping. Now, if you're an absolute LCS boomer like me, you'll probably remember TSM's heyday in League of Legends. Almost 6 years ago, they genuinely seemed untouchable domestically. Doublelift and Bjergsen were the faces of a superstar roster that achieved an incredible 17-1 record during the 2016 summer split. And 2017 saw them win both summer and spring, which begged the question, could anyone domestically compete with them? Well, in the years since, the answer has been yes. Very much so, yes. Team Liquid went on to win the next 4 splits in a row. Cloud9 have also grabbed themselves a couple of wins, and 100 Thieves won summer last year to become the 4th org to take a title in LCS history. But TSM's year ended with a humiliating Worlds appearance, which saw them booted out in the group stage with 0 wins and 6 losses. And things got even worse right after that, with both Bjergsen and Doublelift announcing their retirement from pro play. Bjergsen stepped into the head coach position for the team while Doublelift moved to streaming. Then in 2021, TSM owner Reggie opened his wallet up, bringing in Taiwanese support star Sword Art to round out a solid looking roster that featured veterans Power of Evil and Huni, as well as emerging talents Speaker and Lost. But despite initially only needing to win a single best of 5 to qualify for Worlds that year, TSM were eliminated from the lower bracket by Cloud9. So here we are again at the end of 2021. Different off-season, same old story. Actually, this story is even worse. Bjergsen announced he was leaving TSM after 9 years with the org, and it was around this time that Doublelift began to vent his pent-up anger about TSM, specifically their owner Reggie.
I went and got hotpot with Sword Art, and I think it was between spring and summer split. It was around MSI, and the dude was literally saying that if me and Bjergsen were still playing, we would have 100% won. It's like just unbelievable decisions. I don't know. Every split I'm on TSM we win and still like get treated like that. It's just disgusting. It would be a personal pleasure of mine to see TSM never win anything again because of how they treated the people who brought them everything.
Now we covered the whole storm that happened after this at the time. Some people backed up what Doublelift was saying, while some former players for TSM played down the accusations or even defended Reggie. Rumors of Reggie's behavior towards his LCS players particularly had circulated for years, but Doublelift's accusations created a very public conversation about TSM's environment. Reggie hit back with a Reddit post in which he dismissed most of what had been said and suggested that Doublelift was just upset that TSM had chosen not to work with him when they replaced him with Lost. Some people thought this whole story might have died down, but in January it stepped up a whole level. There was a massive uproar about this, and then everything seemed to die down until last week. That's when Weiers shared an article in which Riot Games told them via email that, quote, "We are aware of the allegations made about the CEO/owner of TSM. As the league operator, we have engaged the law firm of O'Melveny and Myers LLP to conduct an independent investigation into claims of misconduct made against the leader of this team in accordance with standard league process." An investigation by Wired spoke to former TSM employees who claimed they had been subjected to mental abuse by Reggie, echoing Doublelift's comments. Now, some people speculated that all of this might be what's affecting the league team. But TSM have found a lot of success with their other esports teams. Recently, they became North American Apex and Dota 2 champions and completed a fairy tale run at the 6th Invitational to become world champions. Whatever's going on here, whether it's caused or made worse by Reggie, seems to be unique to their league team, at least on the surface. And while the decline has been a long time in the making, it's clearly gotten worse recently. After a big roster shuffle for 2022, TSM's general manager Path explained in a Reddit AMA that they wanted to return to their roots of talent and work ethic, and that they were moving away from their unsuccessful attempts to integrate established talent based on the success of up-and-comers like Speaker, Broken Blade, and Treats. One question TSM fans had about the new roster was about communication. Their new young Chinese talent in Shenyi and Kaiduo spoke little to no English at the time, and of the other players, only Speaker spoke any Mandarin at all. This quickly earned them the nickname of Team Speaks Mandarin, which for TSM fans was at least a welcome replacement for Talent Suppression Machine. It was a gamble. Hiring foreign talent with little to no English skills has worked for Western teams in the past. Huni himself is living proof of that when he joined Fnatic. As TSM season kicked off though, it became very clear that something wasn't working. They lost all 4 of their opening games, and the players were very open about where they thought the problems lay.
I feel like it's going to be a bit of a challenge to adjust, since I'm kind of looking out for other players. I'm the only one that can speak both languages, so in game I feel the need to always look out for the Chinese players. So I think that's going to be a big challenge for me, at least to just try to juggle different things in game.
For now, I think the major problems first, I think communication issues, and secondly, we're not playing as a team. And there's so many small mistakes that makes the game tough to play. And just as a team, I already mentioned it, they were just clearly the better team.
TSM soon announced that Shenyi would be moved to their academy team and replaced with Yersan. Again, there were a lot of question mark pings going on. TSM said Yersan speaking both English and Mandarin would help solve some of the team's communication issues, and that this move would also give Shenyi time to adjust to North America in general. For fans though, it felt like a promising Chinese player had been brought in and almost immediately benched. On February 15th, a since-deleted Reddit post claimed to show the transcript of an alleged leaked phone conversation between Shenyi and a former teammate. Shenyi appears to claim that TSM didn't think his shot calling was good enough. This sentiment was echoed in a translation the following day in TSM's Discord of alleged comments he made on stream that the team had poor comms and that his teammates didn't trust him enough to shot call. Recently, Speaker said on Twitter that this narrative has gotten out of hand, that no one was against Shenyi's shot calling and that his benching was not anything gameplay related. For the past 2 weeks, all eyes have been on Yersan replacing Shenyi. TSM said he would help solve some of their communication issues, but after just 1 win and 3 losses with this new setup, it's clear that this may be bigger than just one player.
That's why Zion can get a head in love really easily.
This is a really interesting TP. It's the communication,
what?
bro.
But it's like 3-2 kills, but the game feels completely doomed.
Yeah, that's Shenyi's fault, honestly.
And on the same day as Shenyi's stream comments made the news, Travis Gafford shared a report that an unnamed member of the TSM coaching staff had been released. So not a great week for TSM, who have lost a number of key figures from the org in recent months. Bjergsen, Doublelift, Path, and VP of esports Lena, to name but a few. Lena, who's also Doublelift's girlfriend, shared some thoughts in his Twitch chat recently, saying that Path and I both wanted to re-sign Soren, that's Bjergsen. When that didn't happen, I wanted to go for Jensen, Doublelift, Vulcan. I was told that's not worth the cost, and I left right after the off-season ended. The current iteration of the roster isn't what Path wanted. He was just doing his job. She also added that TSM thinks the amount of money you spend into LCS isn't worth the value they're getting out. That's why they always talk about expanding to mobile and other regions and other games when they're asked about TSM's future. Pretty bleak stuff. So, where does that bombshell leave us? Well, if you put all of this together and you join up the dots, it looks a bit like this. TSM lost some important people over the past year, most notably their star players of Bjergsen and Doublelift, but also some key upper management figures. There's an argument that they didn't do enough to keep Bjergsen and Doublelift. Bjergsen has said that the roster didn't look as good to him as Team Liquid's, and Doublelift, well, it's pretty clear he wasn't happy with the team's direction or their owner. And all of this has been going on during accusations that Reggie has bullied bullied his employees to the point where Riot are now investigating him. And all of that has occurred while TSM have been experimenting with foreign talent that don't speak English, which Lena has said was not the choice of upper management, with one of the players currently sat in academy complaining that his team doesn't trust him. That, in a massive nutshell, is what's been happening with TSM, and it's difficult to not see this as intrinsically tied to their worst ever LCS start to a season. Last October, Reggie said on the TSM subreddit that he would sooner sell his house and car than see TSM fall off the way CLG has since their glory days. Well, CLG currently sit above them in the LCS table and comfortably beat them last week, which, as you might expect, has been pretty funny for Reggie's critics. Publicly, TSM have said this is a transitional period of developing talent which might not come to fruition until later in the year. And sure, that might be the case, but the issue that's being raised more these days is that TSM's problems may lie deeper than just their players. Recent roster gambles and staff changes don't appear to be working out. Sure, there's still time to turn things around, but do these problems lie a lot deeper than what's happening on Summoner's Rift? I was watching Doublelift and Sneaky and Meteos discuss the other day about when TSM will be ineligible for playoffs, right? Because at the minute, they could still make it into playoffs, right? But they'd have to win a lot of games. They'd have to turn things around now. But we could be in a position in a couple of weeks where they're already eliminated from playoffs, which is crazy, you know? For that to happen in potentially early March is kind of mad. Maybe we'll make a video about that. Who knows?